taken away from the big, the elite programs, the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas. They're sending so many kids early to the pros that we're seeing, a team like Butler that's juniors and seniors who played together 3 or 4 years, have that on-court chemistry, and they can play. You saw that with VCU. I think they lose 8 kids off last year's team. So they had, a lot of kids who'd played together for a while, and that makes a big difference. And, talent matters, obviously, but especially in college, it's about chemistry. There's so much emotion in the game, and you want to be on the court with guys you trust. And I think, we've talked about that a lot.
I think this is something that's just been developing over the last 2 decades, but the three-point shot, I mean, you look at this year's tournament, it was almost like whatever team was having a good shooting night. UK shot the lights out against North Carolina. They didn't shoot well, the next round. That's the difference between them winning and losing. VCU was on fire from the three-point line their whole tournament run until they played Butler. I mean, obviously some of that's defense. These teams are playing against, the opponent, but so much of college basketball is three-point shooting, who is hot, who's having a good day. I don't know. I mean, that's true of, and Doc Rivers said it the other night, NBA is a make-or-miss league, and it's just kind of true of basketball in general, but I just think more and more these days college basketball is so much three-point shooting. You don't see the old Patrick Ewings, the big man. It's all who's hitting from the outside.
That kind of goes back to what you're talking about with not having those Dwight Howard, those actual type of centers, because kids are playing that way start to finish. They start that way in 6th grade. You get you're 6'2" in 6th grade, and you still know that you still try to get those guard skills. That's what's more appealing to everyone, and that's where it's kind of moving up through college, and we're seeing that more and more, where it's a lot of shooting, and if you can't shoot,
it's not a bad thing, but I definitely think it makes it more inconsistent. Like, you could see a team that could be 27-4 just have a bad shooting night, in the tournament, and then they're out.
You see teams like Butler that did not play well, almost barely backed into the tournament, but they're a veteran team, older guys, juniors and seniors. It makes a big difference when you're going to battle with a 23-year-old as compared to an 18-year-old, 19-year-old. Who's going to get his shots and knows he's gone. He hasn't been to class in 2 months. He knows he's leaving for the pros. Whereas you have a team like Butler where you've got a bunch of older guys, more mature. They've been in the system for 3 years, 4 years, sometimes 5 years. It makes a big difference when it's one and done. They make a nice little run.
It could come back around this year because there's so many players that are staying back in school instead of going to the NBA because of the whole lockout situation or whatever it is. There's going to be so much talent in this college basketball season coming up. I can't wait. I wish it would start now, really.
Well,
Carolina,
that Kentucky North Carolina game
Ohio State
could have 10 guys on the floor who hear their name called in the first round in 2012. That might be one of the most talent-rich college basketball games we've seen in quite a while when those two teams match up this year.
So who's your pick next year? Carolina?
Butler.
I like North Carolina.
I think Carolina, they return all 5 starters.
Yeah, I'm a North Carolina fan.
We saw what happened when Kendall Marshall got in the starting lineup. That team just took off.
Wow,
now they'll have a whole season with that. Yeah. They added the depth, bringing in James McAdoo and P.J. Hairston. I think Carolina's got to be the favorite right now.
What about Duke? They're getting the number 1 high school kid in the country. Austin Rivers. Your UK's getting
I don't like
Marcus
talking about Duke.
What about Duke?
Now, Duke's going to be good again. Duke is always good. Rivers
Austin.
is.
He's a one-and-doneer probably.
Yeah, he's so good. It makes me sick to watch him play because knowing he's going to Duke, you're going to spend at least the next year hating him because he's going to beat your team. He's a terrific player. He's probably going to be one and done. They're bringing in another one of the Plumlee brothers. They got 15 of those guys on the roster now. So Duke's going to be Duke. They're going to win 28 to 30 games. Just hope maybe they bow out in the tournament early again. So
you guys got the kid from Chicago, UK,
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know if those were steroids. I don't know what he was on. I don't know how you grow 6 inches in a couple months. I mean, you go from 6'4" guard to 6'10".
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. I saw the kid playing a tournament up at Kettering Fairmont earlier this year, and it was just insane. Oh yeah, he's nice. He's a real nice kid.
I haven't seen him play.
He still has to. I mean, and that was earlier in the season, so I'm sure that he's grown into his body. But he had a growth spurt of 6 inches in just a few months.
Right.
It's tough to keep
and so
right.
so that imagine as parents. I mean, you don't know when to stop buying clothes.
Yeah,
it's like because just all of a sudden every month you're watching this kid grow, and you're like, what the hell?
Well, they may not have to worry about the cost of clothes after.
I don't think they have to worry
year.
about it. No, next year. No, to get the UK. What are you talking about? You people. You Wildcats.
Hey, I barely got enough money for me. I can't be paying for recruits too.
Oh yeah, somebody's paying for recruits down in their little farm town in Horseville, USA. So college is certainly going to be interesting next year. What about our locals? UC, Xavier. Xavier inked out the 7'4" kid from Huntington Prep.
Yep.
I saw him. He was in that same tournament up at Kettering Fairmont. I don't know, man. The kid just looks like he's just sloughing up the court. And I don't know. I mean, can you be athletic at 7'4"? Mobile. It just seems like there's a point at 7'2" where there's diminishing returns on the athleticism and ability, your flexibility to be able to get up and down that court.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of an impact he'll have. Like he's obviously big, but he doesn't move well.
No.
And we've seen with guys who are above that 7'1" or 7'2", it's just you're not going to get them flying up and down the floor.
No,
I mean, I remember North Carolina recruited a kid who was 7'5" or 7'6" a few years ago.
7'6".
Yeah, Neil Fingleton. He lasted, I think, one semester and then transferred. He just couldn't keep up with that pace. So I don't know. I think the biggest recruit Xavier has is getting Holloway back from the draft. That's huge.
No,
for them.
absolutely.
He's our Xavier guy. He's been.
Okay. So Ben, so what do you think about Xavier?
I mean, they've got so much talent coming back. They've got a kid, Justin Martin, who would have been one of their 5 best players this past year, but he had some academic stuff. So he's going to be eligible this year, freshman. He's going to be great. They've got pretty much their whole rotation coming back for the most part. They got a transfer in, big guy, who was like 18-8, it's a smaller conference. So they're going to be really good. UC ought to be really good with Yancey coming back. I think it's going to be a great year, for the locals.
So what do we think about Yancey? Fat and lazy?
Well, it just depends on what day you ask.
Yeah, he's inconsistent, but I think his heart is in the right place.
I mean, his heart's in the right place. What the hell are you talking about, man? When did his heart get in the right place?
I feel like he wants to be a leader of this team. He wants to take on that leadership role, and I think he's going to be a senior this year.
He had his own locker room. He wasn't practicing.
No, he's going to be. I'm going on record right now. Yancey, 15-10 this year. He's going to work his way into the draft. UC's 8th place in the Big East.
Here, you're going to urine test? I mean, we're going to urine test you, Ben.
Well, the talent's there with Yancey, obviously. It's
absolutely.
Can you ever get that light bulb to come on and stay on consistent? That's been his biggest issue. And maybe, heading into senior year with the lure of the NBA out there, maybe it will come on consistently this year. Because if it does, he's a first-round pick. I mean, you can't teach his physical size. Do you want a 6'9" guy who isn't always going to show up? And
not in 6'9". I mean, that's bad.
Yeah, so
he's a tweener.
Right.
He is.
You're a tweener. And being a tweener, lazy tweener is a bad thing.
No, yeah. Right. Scouts don't like that.
His heart's in the right place, but is it into working out, getting ready, and getting in shape?
And up to this point, it hadn't proven to be that. I mean, you've seen flashes of brilliance.
Right.
And that's really my issue with Yancey is the consistency and the fact that I think that part of it is you have to have people that are in your ear and giving you what you need, which is the tough love of you're nothing. You are nothing. That some of the greatest athletes are at home or homeless somewhere because they didn't put the work in. My thing is you have so many examples. Just look at Jamarcus Russell's fat ass. I mean, forgive me for kids out there that are viewing, and that's ass spelled A-H-S-S, which is also pronounced as os. So look at Jamarcus Russell's big fat os. You're in the NFL. You have all the talent and skill and ability, but you're fat. You're a 300-pound quarterback. You come in at 300 pounds and then you're drinking some little drug or whatever that little scissor stuff he was sipping on some scissor. You should have been listening to the song, not drinking it. I don't know. I struggle with that. They don't seem to have people that motivate them, inspire them to be the greatest, because everyone knows from the time he came into college the potential that Yancey had. He has yet to live up to that potential. And it seems to be because of a lack of a work ethic and creating and developing that motive.
Well, okay, so I'm going to ask you, as a UC fan, do you like Mick Cronin then? Kind of, I'm thinking this might be related. You want Mick to, I'm going to take that as a no.
Go. I mean, last year, it was interesting because you had the false positive of a 15-0 start with, that schedule. And then soon you get into the schedule, you start getting your ass waxed. And so I think that, Cronin, no.
So you want Mick to get, you want him to be the voice in his ear.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. As a coach, someone has to be.
Right.
And I don't know if it's George Jackson, the assistant coach, but all I know is that when you look at the potential and you think about the fact that this kid hasn't actualized that potential, that it's unfortunate because he really does have the tremendous upsides. I mean, the size, the ability to move, and it seems as if that he doesn't get it. Right. That you have. I mean, my thing is, it all goes back to the Academy Award-winning Eminem song, that you have to lose yourself in your passion because there's only one pass through this thing called life. That it's so hard to recapture that ability to put the work into it. You can't get that back. You can't.
And you talk about, you mentioned Jamarcus Russell earlier. Like, I'm sure, I hope that he's now sitting at home in his small apartment, whatever he is.
Exactly, somewhere homeless, smoking crack. Thinking
his life coach quit on him.
His life coach, absolutely. I need a mentor.
So, do you think he's sitting there going, God, I wish I would have opened the playbook.
He needs a doctor. He needs a doctor, because if you see Dr. Dre's new body, he needs a doctor.
See, there's the thing that's scary, is at least Jamarcus was good in college.
Yeah, he got there. That's true.
So maybe he should talk to Yancey and say, this is what could happen if you don't.
Yancey can be second-team All-American.
Second-team All-American.
Yes, I believe in him.
On an 8th place.
We're recording this, right? He's got this on.
It's good stuff. Whatever Ben has, I want some of it because he's smoking it. No, he has the potential to absolutely be that. Yes. I mean, we know that, but right now, is he putting the work in, or is he watching us live on television?
No, he's in the gym right now. I heard.
I hope so. Because if he is,
I hope he calls in.
That's what you need. You need that. And remember, there's a live call on television show, 651-3036. But that's what you would have to have from Yancey. And I hope he gets it because I'm a big Withrow fan. I watched him play in high school. I was excited about him going to UC, even though I believe in kids getting away and going away for college. Not necessarily staying in your home backyard because of the influences of your friends that may not have always been the most positive influences. But I think that, hopefully he has a strong year. I'm rooting for the Bearcats.
It would be great to see him, put it all together senior year and end up in the NBA next year. I think, just as a fan of the college game, you'd like to see that.
Yeah, but you just think about the Kenyon Martin model. The Kenyon Martin model was improve upon a skill set every year and become player of the year.
Oh, Martin's senior year
was insane.
So dominant. I mean, I don't know.
You look at Final Four minus the injury.
I think they win the title if he's healthy that year. He was unbelievable.
I mean, that was insane, man. Yeah. And then Logan just didn't know what to do when Martin was gone. But yeah, Yancey. What about UK? I mean, what do we think? Where do we think they end next year?
I think it'll be another year similar to this year with. They're going to have the talent, but they're going to be young, and they don't have a lot of depth, it appears. They're counting on 4 freshmen coming in, making plays again. Talented freshmen, but again, freshmen. And we see what happens that you get down to that Final Four level, the pressure creeps up on you. Who knows how you come through. So I think Elite 8, Final Four probably because they will have the talent, but, too many young guys. I don't know that you can win a title with all freshmen.
Okay. So as we begin looking at wrapping up, we want to certainly thank Jason, Rob, and Ben for sharing the time. You can get a hold of them at the Crab Dribble at Yahoo, the Crab Dribble, Twitter, twat.
Twitter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Twitter.
Twitter, I think it's pronounced Twitter, yeah.
Yes, there it is. It's thecrabdribble.com, and it's twitter.com at thecrabdribble1. Thank you. And they don't have crabs.
No.
I don't want them.
For the record.
For the record. They all said that, except Ben didn't say no.
Yeah.
Ben's got crabs.
The intro we approved.
Yeah, we didn't sign off on that.
So we'd like to thank you for joining us live. This is the Genesis Men's Hour, the first Saturday of every month. Normally, we had a conflict in program, so we look forward to that. And we definitely want to invite you gentlemen on next time. Is there any other sport you know anything about?
A little football.
A little
Cycling.
football?
We can talk some college,
college football. MMA, college football. So we will certainly invite these 3 Yes.
Only ladies.
Ben, if you don't shut the hell up down there about these whack sports, cycling and boat, man, what the hell? You gonna ruin the show? Oh, I'm sorry.
We don't have to invite him back next time.
Yeah, okay, we'll do this without Ben. But we'd like to thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
having us.
Information. I certainly look forward to following you on Twitter.